Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make some raw gold and steady gold in Dragonflight. Before we get into it, if you'd like to learn how to make a lot of gold in retail, you can check out my complete gold making guide, which will be the first link down below. However, let's get right into today's video. So we're going to be farming Firelands for raw gold and steady gold from materials. Now the materials sell extremely quick on the auction house, and you get a lot of straight raw gold from doing this. So what you're going to need first is a potion of treasure finding. Now this will give you tiny treasure chests from the mobs inside of Firelands and other locations. So this is the tiny treasure chest, and this is all the loot you can get from inside of it. So a lot of the volatiles and a few different ores and cloths. Now this only costs a couple hundred gold on the NA realms, so make sure you get the potion. Also, skinning can increase your gold per hour here. It will make the runs a bit longer, and also I recommend enchanting to disenchant the BOE drops that you get. Now you can have enchanting on a different character and just send them over, or have it on the same character you're doing the runs on, like I am doing right now. For an example, I don't have skinning on this character, so we won't be doing the skinning part. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't pull any of the bosses. We're just going to be killing the trash inside of Firelands. So when you go down here, you do need to make sure you do not pull one of the boss. I think it's called like Shannon or something like that. It will walk through the part where you're actually going to be pulling the mobs. So you just need to make sure that the boss isn't there. So what you do is you gather up as many mobs as you can before it starts getting too annoying. And what I mean by that is meaning they're going to be doing stuns and slows and a whole heap of different things on you, as you can see, just like that. So once you have too many, they also have a fear. Once you have a decent amount of mobs on you, all you want to do is AoE them. They'll die in one attack if you're level 70, and then you just want to loot them up. Now if you have skinning, you'll be skinning them scorpions and the turtles back at the start of this. In the run we're doing, we will not be using skinning. Our main gold is going to be coming from the potion of treasure finding, looting up the tiny treasure chest. Now when you're doing this, as you can see, we're just getting a few of the mobs together at a time, not pulling the whole room because the CC will be very annoying. But if you look down in the chat box, we have a whole heap of tiny treasure chests that we're getting when we're looting these guys, and that is really good. That's where the majority of the gold is going to come from. Now another thing that you will make a decent amount of gold with, there's some recipes that drop pretty common inside of here that are worth a decent amount of gold, and there's also a few rare pieces of gear and weapons that can also drop from the trash mobs that also can sell for a decent amount on the auction house. So as you can see, that is the boss that is right behind us. So whatever you do, you want to make sure that you do not pull the boss or kill any of the bosses. As you can see, we've melded, so the boss wouldn't put aggro on us, because if you kill the boss, you can't actually do the raid over and over again. By only killing the adds, what we can actually do is we can reset the dungeon up to 30 times per day, 10 times per hour. So it's very, very good and very important to not kill the bosses, any of the bosses, because if you kill one, you won't be able to keep on going. And you want to farm this out. It only takes like a few minutes each run, so you want to do, say, the 10 runs in an hour, and you'll have a whole heap of these tiny treasure chests. Also, you get a lot of lockpicks, lockboxes that you can send over to your rogue, and you can open those up for some extra raw gold, and also transmog pieces. Or with the transmog pieces you get from those, you can just straight up disenchant those and sell the disenchanted materials up on the auction house. So you want to, if you're a druid, you want to dream walk out, reset all instances, and then straight back in. And you want to do this 10 times within an hour, and you can do it 30 times within one day. Now this is only if you do not kill any of the bosses. If you kill the bosses, you'll have to wait 3 days until the raid actually resets again before you can actually run it with a fresh instance. So it's very important to not kill any of the bosses. We just got a plan just before there for 6k. Now we're about halfway through the 10 runs. We've done about 5 runs. As you can see, you just want to vendor all the grey and white junk items, and then look at all of the tiny treasure chests that we're already starting to get, and we're only about five runs in or something like that. So what I like to do now when the bags get a bit full is to disenchant all of the junk transmog items that you get. So all the greens, anything that isn't worth selling on the auction house, I'll disenchant all of those. The enchanted materials from here are pretty worth a decent amount of gold, so you will make an extra like 2 to 3k if you disenchant everything and then sell the disenchanted materials up on the auction house. So once we clear out the bags, we'll go in again and we'll get the other 5 runs done, and then at the end I'll show you just how many tiny treasure chests you actually get from this farm. It's pretty crazy. And we also got a whole heap of plans already. Some of them are duplicates, some aren't though, and some are worth up to like 6-7k gold that we've already got, so that's pretty good. But the main gold is definitely going to be coming from the tiny treasure chests, the raw gold from them, and you also get a whole heap of their materials, and they sell really good up on the auction house. So we'll just finish off with the rest of the runs. We might as well go through them all, leave them in the video. As you can see, we're filling up again, vendor all of the grey and white items straight away, and then obviously disenchant the other green items. So the bags are definitely filling up now. So what we're going to do now, we've done the 10 runs, and so it's time to clear out the bags. What we're going to do is disenchant all of the junk transmog items. As you can see, we're getting like 5 of the dust each one, which is like another 51 gold every single time we disenchant, which is really good. We're going to go through here, disenchant everything. Now just off the disenchanted materials, like I mentioned before, that's an extra like 3 to 4k from just doing this. There's some of those that we might actually keep that we could sell as transmog pieces. And then we got a bunch of recipes. Some of the recipes are worth a decent amount of gold. And then we got a whole heap of the lock boxes that we'll send over to the rogue and open those up in a bit. So I believe we got 83 of the tiny treasure chests from running 10 runs of Firelands, just killing the mobs, none of the trash mobs, none of the bosses. So we'll open all these up. Now as you can see, you also get straight raw gold from these, but the main thing that is going to make the gold is all of the materials that we're getting from here. As you can see, there is a bunch of materials. We're getting a whole heap of the volatiles, or different sorts of the volatiles, and these sell extremely quick on the auction house, like within minutes. You post them up, if you're the lowest price, you should be able to sell these within minutes, very easily. All these materials are in very high demand. So that is all of the materials from the tiny treasure chest. We'll throw the lock boxes over to our rogue, and we'll open those up and see what we get inside of those. So you're going to get a little bit of raw gold when you're opening up the lock boxes, and then you're also going to get transmog pieces. You can get lucky and get some good transmog pieces, as we did just there. We got a bow or a gun, I'm pretty sure it's either of those two, which was worth about 53k. But also you're going to get a whole heap of raw gold. As you can see, it's like 32 gold, 28 gold, every single one of those lock boxes. So that really adds up for the raw gold. Now what you could do with the gear that you get from here is you could disenchant it, and sell the enchanted materials up in the auction house, like the ones that aren't valuable, or you could try to sell the transmog if it's worth selling. So that was it for today's video. If you would like to learn the secrets of making gold in retail World of Warcraft, then you can check out my complete gold making guide, which will be the first link down below in the description box. And this guide is constantly updated, and if you get a copy, you'll have a lifetime worth of free updates. Till next one guys, take care.